All right, kiddos, today we are looking at day one of transversals. So we're specifically looking at corresponding alternate interior and alternate exterior angles. The TEKS 5A, C, and 6A objectives, students will be able to identify corresponding angles, alternate interior and alternate exterior angles from two parallel lines that have been intersected by a transversal. All right, so let's start with parallel lines. So our definition for parallel lines is they never, hold on, I don't know what I've done here. There we go. They never, whoa, what is happening? Oh, mercy. All right, they never intersect. And are always the same distance apart. And we have some real world examples of that. Railroad tracks, power lines, highways. When we talk about highways, we're thinking more of like you can do the two sides, like this side and that side of the road, right, or parallel. But also, like as you're driving down the road, you have the two yellow lines in the center. Buildings, you have parallel sides of buildings, right? Sports fields, football, soccer, all that have parallel lines. Windows have parallel lines. So there's lots of real world examples of parallel lines. So let's look here. Where did my picture for transversals go? That's just trashy. Okay, so transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines at different points. So let me just go ahead and draw this out because I don't know what happened to my example. So if I have two parallel lines, so we're going to say that these are parallel, right? I'm going to name this line M. I'm going to name this line N. I have point A and point B. I have point C and I have point D. It's a really bad D. Ooh, that's a really bad D. My bad. Let me try that again. Make sure this is on little. Make that a D. There we go. I'm going to cut those two parallel lines with that line. That line is what we call a transversal. It's going to intersect at F, intersect at E, and the line itself is line Y. Okay, so that point, right, this whole line, let me highlight that. This line through here, that's my transversal. Okay, so the transversal is just the line that intersects two other parallel lines. And when we do that, it creates some angles for us, okay? Let's look at the next part of this, corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are formed, that's an E, in matching corners with, I don't know what just happened with that. Let's try that again. I know my writing's bad, but it's not that bad. Lost my train of thought. The transversal and two parallel lines. All right, so in the example here, notice this right here, right? That angle are corresponding angles. We also have this angle in green with that angle in green. We also have, whoops, I need red. We also have this part right there with that part right there. And we also have this yellow part there with that yellow part there. So anytime that we have parallel lines that are being cut by a transversal, we have multiple sets of corresponding angles because it intersects and creates 4 angles on each one. So we have 4 sets of corresponding angles, okay? Alternate interior angles. They are formed on opposite sides of the transversal, but inside or between, I like to say between sometimes, between the 2 parallel lines. All right, the picture, so notice if this is my, let me switch to highlighter again. If this line and this line are my parallel lines, when I say between them, I mean between them. Like, so be inside here and here, right? That's between the 2 parallel lines. So we create then 2 sets of alternate interior. So C is on this side, B is on that side. They're on opposite sides, right? So opposite sides is the key thing here. A and D, so opposite of each other, right? But between the 2 parallel lines. So that's what we're talking about when we say opposite. So let's see. I did interior. Okay. Now let's look at exterior. All right, alternate exterior. These are formed on opposite sides. So just like the other one, opposite sides of the transversal. The transversal, but these are on the opposite side of the transversal, but outside the parallel lines. All right, so again, let's highlight our parallel lines. Parallel line number 1, whoops, lost my pen. Parallel line number 2, right? Those are our 2 parallel lines. Outside of the lines, right? On opposite sides. I can also have here and here. Okay, so they're outside the parallel lines, on the outsides of them, not between them, and on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so let's look at an example down here. We're going to fill this in. So I'm going to say this is angle 1, 2, 3. Actually, let me redo those. I want that to be different colors. All right. Here I want, why can I not get stopped? There we go. All right, 1, dude, it did it again. What is up with this? Let's try this again. I want black. Okay. Dude, why is it not switching? Fine, we'll just do blue. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 sets, right? So down here, we're going to say this is our corresponding. I have angle 1 and angle 5. So here, angle 1 and angle 5. Then I have angle 2 and angle 6. So I'm going to do those in red. This is in red. Angle 2 and angle 6. Then I have angle 3 and angle 7. We're going to do that one in green. 3, that's down here on this bottom side, and 7. And then our last one is going to be angle 4 and angle 8. And we'll do that one in yellow. So angle 8 and angle 4. Okay, so those are our corresponding angles. Let's identify our alternate interior. So alternate interior, I have angle 3 and angle 6. And then I have angle 4 and angle 5. So let's see, how can I do those? Let's do a highlighter and do that in green for this one. So 3 and 6. And then we'll do yellow for this one. So that's 4 and 5. Remember, those have to be inside of the parallel lines, right? And then we have alternate exterior. There we go. First one of that is going to be angle 2 and angle 7. And then angle 1 and angle 8. Let's see. Let's do red for 2 and 7. And blue for 1 and 8. Okay? All right. The only other thing that I want to go over is, and I think I have enough room. So if I tell you that angle 1 is going to be, we'll say 3x plus 2, and I tell you that angle 5 is going to be 6x plus 8, we know, and we want to solve for x. So we're going to say solve for x. We know that angle 1 is equal to angle 5, right? Because they're corresponding angles. Corresponding angles have to be equal. So if I set it up, 3x plus 2 is equal to 6x plus 8. I've set that up to where the two angles are equal. So now when I solve for x, I'm solving for something that I know is going to be equal between the two. My 6 is bigger, so I'm going to subtract the 3. That gives me 3x plus 8. Moving the 8 over, I get negative 6. Divide by the 3. X is going to be, we'll come down this way, negative 2. Okay, same idea if it was alternate interior or alternate exterior, it works the same way. They have to be set up equal to each other. Okay, so for corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, those angles have to have the same measure. Okay, so I think that's everything I wanted to cover. We got all that, got that. All right, yeah, I think we're good. All right, so make sure you follow along with the notes, and this really isn't as bad as it seems, I promise. So in class, we'll do some more examples.